It's not terrible, it's not great. If my arms are longer, I could read it.
Not some of that cheap cardboard, this is good cardboard.
I'll never try a Bob Ross product, never. It's Good morning on this humid Friday morning where it's currently 78 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. Haven't been able to walk much lately, so I'm kind of enjoying it. I do my best thinking on walks, long walks and long showers. Try to imagine a world in which you could remove every revelation, every invention that happened during a long walk or a long shower. This would be a much worse place. The world needs long showers and long walks. But our 110s here are finally over. The monsoon rains cooled things off. I filmed a video in the rain yesterday, or at least part of one, and I'm starting to think maybe I had too much fun with it. I found over the years that the more fun I have doing a review, the less valuable of a review it usually is. On the other hand, that's also the case if I don't have any fun with the video. I have to find some sweet spot between completely fun and completely boring to make it a useful video. Can't be all fun, can't be all review. Gotta be somewhere in between. And today is an epic filming. I'm working on 3 videos today. This one, I got some taste tests lined up. I got some good stuff. My main channel, I've got 2 things I'm working on, so I'm booked. But I do want to start off with one taste test this morning outside before it gets too much warmer. So I'm gonna head home, go to my fridge and pull out taste test number 1 before the main act later on today. So I will meet you guys back home when this walk is over. And here we are, that's right. It is time for the first taste test of the day. This is another drink by Melting Forest, which I tried one of these recently and I quite liked. This is the Functional De-Stress Strawberry Lavender for calm and clarity. I've got some very carefully delicate notes here that I'll be reading off of. By the way, if you're interested in energy drink reviews, my son Brandon just relaunched his channel after many years, and he'll be posting, I think, almost every day. And Bolt's out there doing his business. So I will link Brandon's channel below. Gotta check it out. He just relaunched yesterday, so you can jump on early, get in the ground floor of the late 20s version of freaking Brandon. By the way, before I get to my drink, as I mentioned recently, I started journaling 40 years ago this summer. I found a journal entry from August 9th, 1986. I was wanting to be a writer at the tender age of 18 years old, but I was already getting annoyed by people in that realm. What's funny though is what I said about critics of writing could be applied to YouTube today. Here's what I said. I'll have to bleep out some expletives. August 9th, 1986. To hell with critics. This is what I'm going to write and F all their tips. They say be original, read a lot. That's good, but they also say write like this, but be original, F off. That's 18-year-old James ranting about critics. Anyways, let's get into this Melting Forest drink here. Now, supposedly it is a sparkling functional de-stress drink with a strawberry and floral lavender flavor. Caffeine-free, zero sugar, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, all the good stuff. Sometimes all the good stuff means not such a good taste. Now, Melting Forest came out in 2024, so I think this is one of the original drinks. Supposedly, it makes you relax, de-stress, and have mental clarity, which I need plenty of today. Sweetened by erythritol and stevia Reb A. I'm not really familiar with what that means, so hopefully someone in the comments could help me out between that and regular stevia. I was reading people's comments online about it, kind of mixed opinions about everything. But people like that there's no caffeine, sugar, or low calories, because there's only 5 calories in this can. A lot of people like the interesting flavor, and they said the ingredients actually did help them stay calm and relax. Of course, the cons out there, people were saying that erythritol stevia combo is not a good deal. The lavender floral flavor, it kind of seems like not everybody likes it. And the stress relief and mushroom benefits, that's kind of like your mileage may and probably will vary. Here we go. Nothing to report there. Down the hatch. You know what, I mean, my first thought is this taste isn't as strong as I expected. I thought it was going to be this like overpowering sweet flavor. It's not. It's very watery, which when it's called sparkling water, that's probably a good thing. It's more watery up front than I thought it was going to be. You know what kind of tastes like to me? Oh, and there's an aftertaste coming. Wow, that aftertaste arrived late. That aftertaste missed the first bus and came in the second. That was late, but it just arrived as I was talking. But you know what it tastes like? It reminds me a little bit of that, like the Grape Zero Gatorade or Powerade, whichever one has zero. It's like the zero grape drinks. That's what it tastes like. I'm getting more of a zero grape than strawberry. I don't get strawberry. I'm getting more of a watery zero grape. Now the flavor really isn't that bad. It's palatable to me. It's not bad. Even the aftertaste, the erythritol stevia Reb A, it's kind of mild to me. I don't really think it's that. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. This also has other things like lion's mane and L-theanine and magnesium and vitamin B6. Since I have such a busy day today, I kind of need this calm, relaxing drink. So I'm gonna down this entire thing. The cans are cool. I like the cans. They look a little AI generated though. Just to mention it, they do look a little AI generated, and there's obviously a backlash on that for pretty much everything and everybody. Whenever I see a video and I realize the voice is AI, I downvote it, hit back, and then say, YouTube, don't recommend this channel. I don't want an AI voice. I'm sorry. I don't need a computer talking to me. I would say it's good. It's refreshing. The flavor is pleasant. The aftertaste doesn't bother me so much. So I think this one's fine. This one's fine. What would I give this on a scale of 1 to 100 taste-wise? You know, it's not bad, but 66. I'm gonna right 2/3. 66. 66. That's it for right now. I got a lot to do this morning. At some point, I'm gonna end up at my table doing my main taste test. In between now and then, I got a lot to do. So I think what I'll do is turn this camera off and do it. You know what? The rain's bringing out all kinds of weird smells. That's a weird smell. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys a little bit later when it's time for the main taste test, or maybe even one more before then. So let's get to it. It is time for the freaking 2 main event day 1 taste test. That's right. In this segment, we have Puffs, Grooves, and Witch's Brews. This is what I've got right now. Now, the Cheez-It Grooves, this is a new flavor that's been around for a few months. That one can wait. The seasonal Alani new Witch's Brew has also just popped. And this snack called Takeaways, I saw advertised on Facebook, just came out. I'm gonna start off though with the drink so I can wash these down later. But the Alani new Witch's Brew is a seasonal caramel or caramel, but it's a seasonal caramel apple energy drink. Originally released, I believe, in 2021. It comes out every year. It comes out around this time of year for Halloween. Sugar-free, low calorie, 200 milligrams of caffeine. Includes L-theanine, taurine, and B vitamins. This one seems to have kind of a cult following. When I said I was going to be testing this one out, multiple people wrote in saying how great it was. Looking around at reviews online, the people like the tart, sour, green apple plus sweet caramel flavor. A lot of people say it's more like a candy. A lot of people say it has a distinctive fall flavor, a strong apple caramel contrast, and they like the big 200 milligram caffeine boost. A lot of people like the packaging. Those who have criticized it said 200 milligrams of caffeine is kind of a lot. As usual, people don't like the artificial sweeteners, and they say caramel versus carbonation is a bit weird. Does it taste like caramel apple, caramel apple or not? That's the question. This should be interesting. Tart green apple flavor. Pretty bold sweetness. It's a bold sweet tart flavor. Not sweet tart, but it's a sweet and tart. I feel it in there, in a good way. The caramel is way in the back, but it's probably better off that way. I think I'd rather that than have it the other way around. It's very strong green apple forward. It's very candy-like. I can see how people would say that. It is flavorful. 15 calories per 1 can, not bad. Now, there are some tastes where I think it tastes like a caramel apple, and some tastes it just tastes like green apple. But I think, honestly, they did a pretty good job with this one. It fits the Halloween theme. It matches what they say it's supposed to be. I think they definitely nailed this one. I can see why it is a cult favorite. I'm gonna give this a nice round 90 on a scale of 100. I think that's an excellent taste. For what they're trying to achieve, they absolutely achieved it. Good job, Alani New. Let's move on now to the one I'm most interested in here. This is Takeaways. I saw an ad on Facebook for it, and it turns out this website just launched. I bought this pack, I think, for about 23 bucks with free shipping. This is a sampler pack, and the 3 flavors they have here are pepper jack, white cheddar, and cheese pizza. Each one of these has 12 grams of protein, 120 calories. They're called savory puffed protein snack bars made with real cheese. It's gluten-free, non-GMO, and designed to be a savory alternative to sweet protein bars. And I get that. You know, why is it every protein bar is chocolate or peanut butter? It's like 90% of them are one of those two. Sometimes you don't feel like chocolate or peanut butter. So I already like the idea of not having an overly sweet protein bar. From what I can tell, the website launched in June of 26. The first orders began shipping in July. So this is a relatively new product here. And like I said, I did see an ad for it. That's how I heard about it. Now, there really aren't that many reviews for this out there because it just came out. I mean, it's fairly new. But people do like the fact that it's kind of a savory alternative to sweet protein bars. The 12 grams in one of these light bars here is pretty good. Also low sugar as well. The few complaints I saw online were they're kind of expensive, and there's not available in stores either. I can imagine cheese-based bars are going to be polarizing, so that should be interesting. Let me just pick one.
Pick one randomly. What am I doing? Pick one randomly. All right, here we go. Pepper jack first. Whoa, okay, it looks like, at first it looked like a rice cake, but it's kind of flimsy, so it's almost like a Rice Krispie treat. I'm just gonna break part of this off here. Smells like cheese. Smells like pepper jack cheese, actually. Imagine that. Here we go. Very cheesy. Cheese. I wouldn't say it's a rice cake texture. There's a couple of aftertastes that are competing for the aftertaste title of the most significant aftertaste. The flavor is there. It tastes like pepper jack cheese. It's very good. The texture is a little bit weird. It's just like, I'm not sure what to even do with that. It's like some of those cheap breakfast bars that are the chewy kind. I don't know. The texture is interesting. There's a little bit of heat in that one, which I kind of like. Let's keep going. I'm gonna try the next one now. White cheddar. Once again, it has that kind of flimsy, interesting texture to it. Very interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what that texture is. It's an interesting texture. Mild. The flavor kind of delays. I'm almost swallowed it before I even taste anything. Wash it down with some witch's brew. That's a weird combination. White cheddar and caramel apple, wow. The texture of these it's a bit almost like crumbly, flaky, kind of soft and pliable at the same time. The texture's a bit, I'm struggling with the texture. At least I'm struggling to describe it. Let's go to the cheese pizza now. All right, different color here. And once again, it breaks off easily. That smells like cheese pizza. Tomatoey. Wash this one down. I don't know why I keep doing that. I feel like the flavors are all pretty accurate, with a little bit of a proteiny, kind of like pasty, crumbly effect at the same time. It's a complex texture, actually. It doesn't really know if it wants to be soft or crumbly, because it's kind of both at the same time. Flavor-wise, they're good. I don't know if I would be able to eat a lot of these at once, because the cheese flavor is actually very strong. Some might argue too strong if you're eating a lot of that. It'd be good for a snack, though, in the afternoon. I do think that, so. I'm gonna give these a unified rank between all three of them, and that's going to be, I'm gonna give the flavor a 79. They're all kind of similar. I'm not sure I have a favorite. Probably the pepper jack. That's probably the best one of the three. I think that one had that little extra kick to it. Very nice. I think if you see the advertising for this and you find it interesting, I don't think you'll be too disappointed. There's no major issues with the flavor. You know, I think they're kind of filling a void, having savory protein snacks. So good job, takeaways. I think that you are filling a void that needs to be filled. Speaking of filling up, I'm gonna fill up my belly with some Cheez-It Grooves here next. Now the Grooves have been around for a while, but the loaded nacho flavor is relatively new. I think it came out early 2026. And I believe this is going to be a permanent addition to the library of Cheez-It Grooves. Library? I don't know if that was a word for it. I don't think I've ever had a Cheez-It Groove before. They've been around for a while. I've never tried them. You know, as much of a Cheez-It fan as I am, I don't know why I haven't. Sorry, Cheez-It. Now this loaded nacho flavor combines queso, tomato, and onion with additional taco-style savory notes, made with 100% real cheese. This is a very cheese-themed taste test here. Now reading comments online, and people say that it has a nice strong nacho seasoning, crunchy texture. They also said that the grooves hold a lot of treasured dust that people like. Now those who didn't like it, some people said it was a bit more like taco seasoning, and not in a good way. They say it's too heavy seasoning, too intense, and not really like a regular Cheez-It. My question is, does it taste like loaded nachos, or basically a taco seasoning on a Cheez-It? The smell reminds me of wood shop in 7th grade. I don't know why it does, but it does. Here we go. At first I get a pretty strong nacho flavor, then there's a bit of almost like cardboardy flavor to it. Cardboard. It's almost like cardboardy Cheez-It. But it's good cardboard. Not some of that cheap cardboard, it's good cardboard. It's a strong nacho seasoning, but I like it. It adds a lot. I like the crunchy texture too. I'm kind of a fan of these. Let me try some of this pepper jack on one of these loaded nachos. Here we go. Takeaways, meet Cheez-Its. Oh, that was weird. The texture of the takeaway dominated, but the flavor of the grooves dominated. So it was like definitely a mixture of the two of those. But as far as the Cheez-It grooves go, I really like these. These are kind of their own category. Very strong seasoning, nice crunch, nice tangy cheese flavor, a bit of tomato, maybe even a bit of onion or even a sour cream in the distance. I'm gonna give these a 92. 92. All three together. Witch's Brew, you did not belong there. I'm a big fan of Cheez-Its, and now I'm a big fan of Cheez-It Grooves Loaded Nacho. These are very good. And the takeaways are good too. You know, I mean, it's kind of a niche product, but if you like your protein snacks, you don't always want to eat chocolate or peanut butter, definitely a nice alternative to those. So I think they fill a void. very nicely. Which is Brew. I can see why you're popular. I think that was my lunch for the day. Not a very satisfying lunch, but definitely an interesting lunch for sure. Eat a little bit more of this stuff and then move on with the rest of my day.
Had to run to the post office. I'm trying to be better about that. I think I went at one point 6 months without checking my P.O. box. I've made a pact to myself to not go that long again, so. But we're not here to talk about mundane post office boxes. We're here to talk about the next installment of my liquid death taste test of their sparkling waters and teas, and that is the Rootbeer Wrath. This is supposed to be a sparkling water that's inspired by the taste of root beer. This can has a whopping 20 calories, 90% less sugar than regular sodas. This flavor came out in early 2025. It's sweetened by agave nectar and stevia leaf extract. People online who like it say it has a surprisingly accurate root beer flavor. They also say it's much less sweet than regular root beer, and they also like the fact that it can have a low-calorie option to satisfy their cravings. Now, those who didn't like it, it's very polarizing. Some people said it tastes like watery root beer, and some people, of course, did not like the aftertaste. It smells like root beer. It's root beer-ish. It's root beer adjacent. It's something. The finish is almost more like root beer candy than root beer soda. It's lighter than root beer. It's not as sweet as root beer. Clearly it's more watery than root beer because it's water. It's not 100% root beer though. It's like 85% root beer flavor and there's like 15% variation. Now that's the accuracy. What about the actual flavor itself? The flavor's fine. If I'm looking to hydrate and I don't want some plain old boring water, this would certainly fit the bill for me if I was craving a root beer. At 20 calories, I'm not going to complain. If I were to rank this on a scale of 1 to 100, a solid, respectable, nothing to write home about, 71. 71. I was hoping to sit here and get some rain because it's kind of cool to be like outside underneath this canopy when the rain comes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not. This is the last rain here for a while, so I'm kind of hoping to get some of it. You know, I'm like a kid when it comes to rain. I love it. I love the rain because we don't ever get it here. But I guess I'm going to sit here, sip on my 71 out of 100 root beer-esque liquid death water, wait for the rain, and then head back home and back to work. I'm just waiting for the rain. Or as Milli Vanilli lip sync, blame it on the rain. The second half of my day wasn't nearly interesting as the first half of my day. The second half of my day, I edited this vlog, tomorrow's video, and I worked on taxes for several hours. Not much to report there, but we do have a beautiful sunset right now, and it's actually sprinkling right now too, so I'm gonna enjoy this, do a few more taxes, and then call it a day. But fortunately, this is only day one of a 2-day vlog, so that's coming up right now. And welcome back to day number 2 of this vlog. It's absolutely beautiful here right now. We had weeks of 110 degrees where our lows were in the 90s. Right now it's 75 degrees at 9:30 in the morning. Doesn't get any better than this in August in Vegas. I gotta take advantage. So I don't have quite as much to test out today as I did yesterday. I have a lot to do, but off camera. But I wanted to start off with a little bit of novelty / controversy. Now, you don't usually combine novelty and controversy, but I'm doing it today. Do you guys remember that Netflix documentary from a few years back about Bob Ross? Now, I always thought Bob Ross was going to be the most benign, non-controversial topic out there. But if you ever saw that documentary, it's pretty controversial. There's a lot of people out there that after seeing that swore off buying anything Bob Ross related. Not because of Bob Ross, but because of what happened in the company after he passed. Now, there's supposedly 2 sides to every argument, but I haven't heard the other side. So right now, I'm still kind of on Team Bob Ross OG, not Team Bob Ross after the company was taken over. And so with that framing the next product here, I found this novelty item at Five Below that elicited my curiosity, and that is the novelty Bob Ross energy drink. It says positive energy drink, Prussian blue raspberry flavored. My first question is, will you still try anything Bob Ross related, or did you see the documentary and swear it off completely? Me, I've got to try it. I see something like this, I've got to try it out. Controversy or not. I mean, clearly it's a novelty flavor, but does that mean it won't taste good? No, it doesn't mean anything. It has 100 milligrams of caffeine. It has things like ginseng, vitamin B, and it's sold in novelty shops like Five Below where I found it. This has been around since at least 2018. That's as far back as I can find it. So it's been around for a while. This is not a new flavor. I did find some comments online from people who tried this. Some people said that they like the novelty aspect of it. They like the fact that 100 milligrams of caffeine isn't blowing their doors out. And some people said it's surprisingly tasty. Now on the con, some people, they won't even try it. They saw the documentary and said, nope, not doing it. Not doing anything Bob Ross related anymore. Some people said it's not a serious drink. And some people said it's cheap or artificial tasting. So with all that, that means I definitely got to try it. I welcome the controversy. Here we go. By the way, there's 160 calories in this can, so no, it doesn't sound like artificial sweeteners. What kind of sweeteners are in here? I can't read that. High fructose corn syrup. As Groucho Marx in A Night at the Opera said, if my arms are longer, I could read it. You don't have a baboon in your pocket, do you? Here we go. It's definitely a blue raspberry flavor to it. When you first drink it, there's that just kind of like sugar, it's a sugary tasting. It's sugary. I think the flavor is accurate. By the way, Prussian blue, from what I understand, is an actual traditional pigment. So that's probably why they chose that name. But flavor-wise, I get blue raspberry. I just realized this sun is starting to roast me. Let me head over here. I can feel my skin burning even though I have sunscreen on. It might be 75 degrees out there, but that sun is hot. Back to the controversial Bob Ross drink. Pretty sweet, and the fact that it's got high fructose corn syrup means there's no way I can drink all this because it'll just wreck me. I think the flavor's pretty accurate. There is a bit of an aftertaste. I'm not sure I really like it that much. It's not terrible. It's not like the worst stevia aftertaste out there. Probably just an artificial flavoring aftertaste, if I had to guess. Look at these guys, right here, as I'm trying to talk. Now that I've had a few drinks of it, it does seem like a novelty flavor. It seems like they just kind of picked a pretty generic flavor, slapped a Bob Ross picture on it, and called it good. Nothing great about it. Nothing really terrible about it either, though. That's why it's so generic. Now, this is pure speculation, but if I had to guess, I would say there's probably other cans of energy drinks out there with that exact same formula, the exact same liquid in there, with a different name and a different label. If I had to guess, it's not terrible, it's not great. I would say taste-wise, I'll give it a 53. 53 on a scale of 1 to 100. Now, if you're like fully in like the anti-Bob Ross company bandwagon, you're gonna give it a 0. I'll never try a Bob Ross product. Never. They screwed him over. But you know what though? I can understand why you'd feel that way. But I gotta taste test things as I see them, and I wanted to try it out. But I have an insanely busy day today, and I'll bring you along when anything is worth mentioning, which is probably nothing for the next couple hours. So I'll see you then. Oh man, I had to get out of the house between doing my taxes, editing, making myself a nice big lunch. I was just fried. I was deep freaking fried. That's right. I had to get out of the house. So while I was out, just doing absolutely nothing of any importance whatsoever, by the way, I ran across something. I wasn't going to do any more taste tests today. I figured this video is long enough, but I have to do one quick one. Just as a quickie right here, because it's relevant to August of 2026. Many of you know of 7-Up Lemon Lime, which has been around for a few years, but they just reformulated, a permanent reformulation. Well, nothing's permanent in the soda world. They say permanent, but they may not mean that. But they have the new 7-Up Lime Lemon. They have reformulated 7-Up to be more lime forward. I happened to find while I was out a bottle of each. The old-timer regular lemon lime 7-Up and the Gen Z and Gen Alpha pandering lime lemon 7-Up. I don't know why I said that, but I read that was supposedly a younger people thing. Who knows? I don't believe anything anymore. I don't believe anything about anything. But let's do a real quick taste test. And I'm not even putting a card up there. I wasn't even planning this. All right, let's take a sniff of each one. Lemon lime first. Smells like 7-Up. Lime lemon first. It does smell a bit lime forward. I'm a big lime fan. I'm actually not really disappointed about the news. I'm not a huge 7-Up fan, but I'm a big lime fan, so I might be swayed by this. They might win me over. Here we go. It's subtle. It's not a huge change. Let me see. All right, I'm keeping this real here. I'm gonna say the taste it's slightly different. It's not a huge difference. I think if you're drinking them without trying them back and forth, you may not even notice much of a difference. Or if you're a hardcore 7-Up fan, which I'm not. If you're a hardcore 7-Up fan, you might be just horrified by this change. But to me, the lime is a little bit better because when you drink that lemon, there's this brief moment where it has almost like this lemon cleaner vibe to it, and then it goes away quickly. You don't get that with the lime. The lime, it seems like it's a little more subtle, more smooth, not quite as harsh as the lemon. Again, I'm analyzing a very small percentage of the overall flavor. I do think the lime lemon, which I hate saying that. Lime lemon, nobody says that. They couldn't have come up with something better than that. Let me try one more time with a cleansed palate. I'm gonna go in the reverse order this time. Lime lemon first. Old school. I think also the old one's a little bit stronger flavor. I was never like this giant 7-Up fan, so I don't have much, I don't have much skin in the game here. The old flavor is a little bolder, it's a little more lemony, which I don't think is as good. The new one's a little bit more subtle, a little more limey, and to me that one is just a fraction of a percent better. I'm sure there will be 7-Up fans who are up in arms. They'll be protesting. But I think for the rest of us who don't drink it that often, not much of a difference. A little bit of tartness right in here again. I kind of like this. So I'll be curious what you guys think. If there's some 7-Up fans out there that are outraged, I want to hear it. Let's hear the outrage. This is a place you can be welcome to express your outrage. Nobody's going to judge. I'm not outraged, but I find it interesting. And so with that, I'm heading back home because I got plans tonight. Hopefully not too late, but this vlog might end abruptly if I don't get back in time to film some sort of an outro. I know you guys don't care. If there's anything of interest where I'm going, I'll show you. It's an event down at Green Valley Ranch, so maybe there's something worth showing you. I'll take you along if there's something to show. Let's flash forward for me a couple of hours and for you a couple seconds and see what this event is all about.